Welcome back. This is the third recording for day 4. We just talked about limit sum with the inner loop, and that occurs when a value is smaller than b. When this number, the constant, is smaller than the number, the coefficient of sine of theta or cosine of theta. Okay, so then that creates the little loop right there, and it always does go through the zero. Okay, the origin right there. Okay, and as with the cardioid that we just covered, you can have a limit sum with the inner loop with a plus b sine theta or a minus b sine theta, a plus b cosine theta or a minus b cosine theta. The only thing that will change is the orientation of it. And how do I figure out how it's going to be orientated? Well, you can certainly plot some basic points and then you can fill it in. First of all, you need to figure out what is the shape. This is a limit sum with the inner loop because a is smaller than b, and then you can plot some points and then you can figure out where it should go. Alright, so then let's look at the next one. And to do that, it's called Convex Lift. Okay, so graphing that, what you end up with is sort of very rounded, but it's not quite circle. It's sort of what I would call badly drawn circle. Okay, so it's not quite circle, and it's just not a very perfect circle. Okay, so it I'm going to just say looks like a poorly drawn circle. And what's special about this is that it's rounded all the way around and the radius changes. So it's rounded all the way around and the radius changes from 5 to 10 or 9 to 13 to 9. So, but radius changes. And again, this is when a is at least 2 times bigger than a b. Okay, then let's look at the next case. And the next one, the last, no, this is this the last one? No. Yes, this is the last one. It's called dimpled limit sum. Okay, and to do this, we're going to graph r is equal to 5 plus 4 sine theta. Okay, so what's special about this is that, well, first of all, is a equal to b? In this case, a and b are not the same, so no. So this is not a cardioid. Is a smaller than b? No, a is bigger than b, so that's no. So this is, if a was bigger, then it would be a limit sum with inner loop. And then finally, is a bigger than 2 times b? No, because in order for it to be 2 times b, it needs to be bigger than 8. 5 is not bigger than 8. So no, and so therefore this is not a convex limit sum that we just talked about. Okay, so this is my dimple limit sum, and again I'm going to evaluate the key points. At theta is equal to 0, sine is going to be 1. No, sine is going to be 0. 0 times 4 is 0, plus 5 is just going to be 5. Pi over 2, sine is going to be positive 1, times 4 is 4, plus 5 is 9. At pi, it's going to be, sine of pi is 0, times 4 is 0, plus 5 is just 5, and then 3 pi over 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4, plus 5 is positive 1. Okay, so then let's try to graph that. Where are my key points? Here we go. At 0, it's going to radius of 5. at pi over 2 radius of 9. So it's going to be approximately 7.5. So I'm going to say about here. And then at pi, it's going to be 5 again. And 3 pi over 2 over here, the radius is going to be 1. So 5 is over here. So radius of 1 is going to be approximately here. Okay. So what this looks like is, it's what we call dimpled limaçon. It's going to look like this. Okay, so there's just a slight indent right there. And that dimple is not at the origin. Remember cardioid? The dimple was at the origin. And but this is not at the origin. So in this case, B is between A is between 2B and just B. And the shape we get is we just have one side that has a small bump in it. Has one side, hold on a sec, let me just put that down right there. B is smaller than A is less than 2B. I'm going to put it right there. And what is the shape that we get from it? Has a small bump on one side. Has a small bump on one side. So here is the side with a bump, and it does not involve the origin. And if you can kind of picture this, remember this is good. If these two values are the same, then it's going to be a cardioid. Okay, and if this value, if A is bigger than 2B, then we're going to get a convex limaçon. So this is cardioid, and this is convex limaçon. So you can kind of picture dimpled limaçon as somewhere in between the cardioid and convex limaçon. All right, so then let's try to do a example. Here we go. So if I was to ask you to graph r is equal to 1 plus 2 sine theta. Here we go. Now you can see. All right, how would you go about this? Well, first thing I'm going to identify is my A and B. This is going to be my A is equal to 1. B is going to be equal to 2, right? So in this case, A is smaller than B. So A is less than B. So it's going to be limaçon with inner loop. With inner loop. Okay, so, and to figure out which way it orientates itself. Well, first of all, I know that this is dealing with sine of theta. So it's going to be somehow up and down. So we're going to have a reflection over the vertical. Theta is a vertical axis. Theta is equal to pi over 2. So it's going to be symmetrical over the vertical axis. So we're going to create, plug in some values. So we're going to try 0. Okay, when theta is equal to 0, sine of 0 degrees, so 0 radians, is going to be 0. So that's 0 times 2 is 0, plus 1 is just going to be 1. Pi over 2, 90 degrees, sine of theta is going to be positive 1, times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. At pi, sine of theta is 0, plus 1 is just 1, and then 3 pi over 2 is going to be negative 1 times 2 is negative 2, plus 1 is negative 1. So this is my dimpled limosome with inner loop. So let's see if you can plot those and then create a graph from it. I have already said because we are dealing with sine, it's going to be symmetrical over pi. Theta is equal to pi over 2. So let's plot the point at 0 radius. The radius is going to be 1. If I call this 1, then it's going to be right here. Okay, and that pi over 2, it's going to be 3. 1, 2, 3, right there. At pi, it's going to be positive 1. And that 3 pi over 2, going on down this way, it's going to be negative 1. That means this is my point right there. Okay, so remember, limosome with the inner loop always goes through 0 as well, right? So that's how it makes the loop. So it's going to look something like this. Alright, that's all about limosomes. Now we're going to be tackling the very last graph of polar equations, and that's called spirals of Archimedes. So to do that, we're going to just graph r is equal to theta. Okay, what that means is whatever the theta value is, that becomes my radius. So if theta is 0, radius is going to be 0. Pi over 2, that's 3.14 ... divided by 2. So that's approximately, pi over 2 has the value of approximately 1.57. Pi is approximately 3.14. 3 pi over 2 is approximately 4.71. And 2 pi is approximately 6.28. And 5 pi over 2, that's 2.5 times pi, 3.14. That's going to be approximately 7.85. And 3 pi is approximately 9.42. Okay, now we just need to plot it. So at 0 radius, it was 0. At pi over 2, it had the radius of 1.57. 1.57 would be approximately here. Pi is going to be 3.14. 3.14 will be approximately here. 3 pi over 2, 4.72, so 4.71, that's 5 here, so approximately here. 2 pi is going to be 6.28, so 6.28 will be approximately here. And then 5 pi over 2, we're going over the 280 degrees. 7.85, 2, 4, 6, 7.85 will be very close to 8. And then 3 pi will be close to 9.42. So it will be here. And what it actually looks like is this. You end up creating a spiral, which is pretty cool. And it's going to go like that. Okay? So that's what happens when you have r is equal to theta. And the more general form of spirals is radius is equal to some value constant a multiplied by theta plus another constant. Okay, so this is the general formula for it. And depending on the value of theta, okay, so if theta is and with the Archimedes spirals, if theta is positive, okay, if theta is positive, not a, if theta is positive, it's going to loop up and then go counterclockwise. If theta is negative, okay, so then you are going to loop down first and still go counterclockwise. That's the general structure of it. Okay, so now, after all this work, what I'm going to do is I am going to give you this page of notes. Okay, this is summarizing all the different graphs of polar graphs, right? So this is my circles, limosomes, and 4 different types of limosomes and the different structure of it and how it happens, and the roses and how many petals and what it looks like, as well as the lemniscates and the spiral of Archimedes. Okay, so this should hopefully help you navigate how to graph polar equations. Thank you for listening.